Disclosure. Interdimensional intervention on Earth. Gaia's shift into the fifth density has been timed not just for Earth's continued evolution, but also to deal with an opposing consciousness that has intervened in the natural evolutionary path of our planet. Gaia's shift into the fifth density. Never has this been more evident than in the escalating agenda of the last 2 years. Fortunately, many more people are now prepared to consider what has previously been a taboo subject. And the author says, I have had many close encounters. It's essential to understand what's going on so we may equalize with it and emerge with it. The original mistake. Are we alone in the universe? It's a question that challenges both the most brilliant and the most skeptical of minds, the subject of seemingly endless debate, sometimes even ridicule. So I ask you to consider this. We live on a relatively small planet in a relatively small solar system, within a relatively small galaxy, a galaxy that has billions of solar systems, one which exists in a universe that is teeming with galaxies, a universe of multiple dimensions. So then, knowing this, I ask you, is it crazy to consider that there is other sophisticated life out there, or that there is not? For many of us expanding into multiple dimensions, the debate has long since ended. Yes, there definitely is sophisticated life out there, acting interdimensionally, that is. We can feel it around us in the field, and it is most definitely not all benevolent. It's becoming abundantly clear to a wider audience that there is something controlling intervention going on across our planet right now. And what is its agenda? And where did it come from? What is its purpose? Connection with benevolent consciousness has drawn my attention to what I call the original mistake, quote unquote. It's something that happened in the dawning of the physical universe, where consciousness took on form, became self-aware, and able to read the flow of manifestation. There's a problem with this because at those higher frequencies, manifestation happens at the speed of thought, when the risk is you shape reality before what's meant to happen truly unfolds by itself. Lack of trust, control, playing God, quote unquote, being too heavily invested in the material was for me the original sin. Speaking metaphorically, there is no sin, only mistake is failing to learn by it. It's a dynamic of distortion that has created a powerful karmic effect through the manifested universe that we're all living now. The exploration of divine creation, yet not getting caught up within the desire-led intention. It's been a core theme of creation. Here on Earth, it's manifested in the classic Adam and Eve story, getting too heavily invested in the physicality, lost as we consume of the apple. For quite some time now, elements of the mainstream spiritual community have been caught up in trying to manifest more abundant realities, or to intention and envision what they desire. To me, this is clearly a reflection of its original mistake, being played out through the manifested universe. This latent desire for control plays right into the hands of the intervention. The time has come to explore this deeper, to peel away the veiling illusion. An ancient colonizing race. On Earth, the universe has manifested its karmic mirror in the form of an ancient colonizing alliance, an opposing consciousness that has emerged from other constellations in the cosmos. It is their inherent pattern to colonize, ethnically cleanse, and exploit and control other species, just as humanity does sheep, pigs, and cattle. Working surreptitiously in the shadows, it's well versed in advanced deception techniques. For those who care to explore, delving deeply beyond denial, you can see the rippling effects right across our exploitative and unjust society. Is covertly influencing leadership in many areas, from politics to business. In fact, society is so unjust, so inequitable, and so destructive to our environment, you'd have to ask was it purposely designed that way? How can it be anything other than a conspiracy when just 1% of the population owns most of the wealth at the expense of the other 99%? Is there an alternative synthetic agenda this opposing consciousness has in mind? To me, there is only one answer, and that's resoundingly yes. Considering themselves more advanced and having the ability to intervene almost at will, they have shaped the very fabric of society, showing about as much consideration for humanity as our industrial food chain does for animals. It's a mirror that we are all invited to thoroughly digest. Mankind is not alone in the universe and is as yet immature in a cosmic sense. What now needs to be digested with a sense of urgency is that humanity is facing a grave threat, a challenge to its very sovereignty and freedom as integral beings. An unholy interdimensional alliance has been working behind the scenes, in the shadows, pulling the strings of authority, its agenda to hybridize new physical forms here on Earth. Although vigorously rejected by Gaia, the ET intervention still very much exists in the energy field around us. They are the mechanics of the matrix in which we live. Although there's been much speculation about their purpose being to acquire important resources such as gold, this is only in part true. In my direct experience, their overriding agenda has been to synthesize a physical vehicle which they could incarnate here on Earth, this being a very challenging environment to their current interdimensional form. Homo sapiens has been one stage within that agenda. Their purpose would seem to be to create a subtly subservient species that can be controlled and further hybridized. At least that is the undeniable effect, and within society their agenda is gathering pace with each passing day. The intervention is being engaged. Fortunately, there is a very vast array of cosmic energy now gathering on and around planet Earth to bring awareness to humanity, to challenge and break the intervention. The message is being willfully transmitted that such control and manipulation has no ultimate future. Realignment with the source and the natural flow is the only way to achieve lasting peace and harmony with life. Having connected through the ether many times with leading higher dimensional elements of this intervention, I observed a definite realignment has happened at the higher levels of consciousness. Success has caused those elements to realign, and they now seem quite gentle and benign. That said, lower down, there's still resistance that needs to be softened. A leopard does not change its spots overnight, and there are many layers of the intervention. Every system we have come to depend upon in society is sustained by this energetic grid matrix. It will take time to confront the various layers and unwind them, but benevolence is now strongly bringing its energies to bear, and people can help each other, each help by confronting the intervention within their own being, by connecting to their higher self and working to fully embody it. So with the culmination of Gaia's centering the fifth density, it's perfectly timely that the intervention is starting to be broken down, and at least some of the opposing consciousness is now starting to leave, which is a very positive sign. However, there is much yet to be done. Although the roots of the intervention have been broken and peeled off, it is still intimately interwoven through the human psyche, which each ascending person must work to unravel. Taking full responsibility. It's also vitally important to realize that whilst it would be entirely understandable to judge, blame, and project anger, which would be completely counterproductive, humanity only drew this opposing consciousness in the first place because of its inability to accept life as it was on Earth without trying to control, manifest, colonize, and industrialize. It is humanity's own karma of non-acceptance and lack of trust which drew the intervention. It's a mirror of the original mistake I spoke of earlier, but played out in a very human Adam and Eve way, becoming too engrossed in the manifestation, the physicality, and therefore disconnecting oneself from the sense of eternal spirit. So people are invited to take full responsibility and ownership of their predicament, to realign and walk in spiritual path. Ascension is the solution. Whilst human DNA can be repaired over time and evolve into new form, an unsustainable situation has been created here on 3D Earth. Gaia's solution has been to center in the 5D and now cleansing her third destiny. The question is, how can humanity benefit from and work with this realignment? In short, I feel the impulsion for humanity to ascend to the fifth dimension, its density as we outlined, and within that, a more complete understanding of the limitation that has been imposed should help accelerate the situation. Energy implants. I introduced the topic of energy implants in this article, removing energy implants. Most, if not all, people carry these to some degree. The reptilian implant affects the consciousness of the digestive system, linking it to the core of humanity's lizard brain. Through this energy field implantation, it's possible to shape a landscape agenda which the soul gets fragmented and diverted into. An illusionary reality filter is created. We take on behaviors and addictions which, because are so widespread, most accept as normality. Humanity has been programmed to accept exploitative consumeristic behavior that serves neither us nor the natural ecosystem of our planet. Increasingly, people are now becoming aware of these implants as they raise their vibration, reintegrate the soul, and thereby increase internal sensitivity. The implants can be experienced as headaches, migraines, or buzzing in the head during meditation, an ungrounding, spinning vortex over the crown, a tightening contraction in the solar plexus, conflicting directive impulses that mask the authentic pull of the soul, and by incongruent eating disorders, to name just the key symptoms. It's why, for example, when we walk the path of the soul, we are strongly guided to fast, cleanse, and purify internally in order that we may raise our vibration, increase energetic sensitivity, and thus regain personal sovereignty. Crucially, once you become aware of these implants, you are already empowered to remove them. It happens naturally by following the increasingly insistent inner voice of the soul. If we follow the path of purification and realign with the soul, then there comes a point where the entities can no longer be sustained in your field. Once you become conscious of how they are working, the application of willful intent to remove them usually works by itself. You simply have to open your heart to the assistance of benevolence, especially the angelic realms, and ask for them to go. And the key is to realize they'll go when you're totally accepting and non-judgmental, that we actually do not need them to leave. Thus the karmic attachment is broken, forgiveness happens, and there's no longer anything for them to grasp onto. Cosmic assistance. Fortunately, humanity is not alone in its epic journey. Cosmic energies of benevolence have gathered in great strength as the crucial juncture to help. Christ's consciousness is activated in people's hearts. It's the pull to a higher truth, a sense of righteousness and non-judgmental discernment, and people can intensify the effect of this benevolence by bringing attention out of the mind and into the heart, by feeling what wants to really happen next and aligning with that. Humanity has reached a crucial juncture in this history. The future for many hangs in the balance. Now's the time to shake off the sleepy delusions of the past, and despite what's happening up to this point, everyone who can summon their inner will to energize out is capable of success. Of course, with the help of Jesus Christ and saints and angels. So, ascension into the fifth dimension, open to everyone. With courage and conviction, truly choose it. And this is on Collective Spark by the contributor writer Open. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.